A Southwest Airlines pilot signed off his announcements with the phrase, "Let's go Brandon," which of course translates to "Long live Joe Biden," or something like that. Let's discuss the reaction. One can debate whether or not passengers desire to have political slogans hurled at them as they're flying through the air. That is for the corporation to decide, and they can certainly mandate that such speech be restricted on the basis that it might harm their bottom line. One can also debate whether if the same pilot had stated Black Lives Matter, about the organization that desires to disrupt the nuclear family, the organization that turns a blind eye to the thousands of black-on-black murders that happen to the inner city every year, the same organization that will vociferously cancel anybody that doesn't bend the knee to their totalitarian wishes. But in fairness, they also do go out and loot local businesses and burn them to the ground while demanding reparations for themselves. Hey, that's not so good, is it? I was trying to come up with a defense. But the question is, would this pilot get in any trouble for having stated it? But because he stated, "Let's go Brandon," naturally all of the leftists were outraged by the joke, because 99% of these people are absolutely humorless. That's just a scientific fact. Do you know any funny leftists? Or are they just miserable, dour creatures? Well, CNN analyst Asha Rangappa, the analyst and senior lecturer at Yale's Jackson Institute for Global Affairs, took to Twitter to consider how the pilot's alleged comment would be received if he had said, "Long live ISIS," instead. According to her, my guess is that 1, the plane would be immediately grounded, 2, the pilot fired, and 3, a statement issued by the airline within a matter of hours, she posted. Once again, a leftist, Asha Rangappa, equivalent in comedic skills to Dave Chappelle, if y'all want to call this just a joke. So for Asha and all the other leftists who are defending her statements, who feel similarly to you, my question is, how is expressing displeasure with the current president of the United States akin or anything close to pledging allegiance to a terrorist organization that not only murders people but wants to dominate the entire world? Please, again, comment below. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. Okay, so I guess that we can all agree. Not only is it not in the same ballpark, it's not even in the same solar system. I'm telling you all this because it is a trend that is picking up speed. The left believes that they have an inherent right to lie to you, to exaggerate, to put you into a state of moral confusion so that perhaps you might be able to cleanse your soul by aligning with the Church of Woke. They believe that they have the right to tell you that America is intrinsically and inherently a racist place because of Juicy Smollett, the Covington kids, Bubba Wallace, and his NASCAR noose, all the fake hate crimes that they report and amplify on all these networks. Because the supply is so low, you have to manufacture your own racism. They'll tell you that protesting against COVID restrictions during the pandemic is a direct threat to public health and should be considered a terroristic activity. But when the other side with much larger protests, the Black Lives Matter protests, this was considered to be fantastic and wonderful for public health because racism is an epidemic. A manufactured epidemic, but an epidemic nonetheless. Because they own all of the propagandistic airwaves like CNN, MSNBC, NPR, the New York Times, as well as the social media censors, which, of course, will push back on any heterodox view or any voice of dissent. They live in a bubble where there is no comeuppance. They live in a reality where such lies and deceit are considered just. because they are on the right-hand side of history, because they know what's best for the world, because they know better than anybody else what is good for you, your friends, your family, while they lead lives of misery. Well, in fairness, ISIS does live in a similar bubble. They're able to squash all dissent. They'll whip you in public, or they'll behead you. Either way, they silence people in using more drastic tactics, perhaps, but canceling is not pretty. And like the Church of Woke, they are ideologically pure and believe that they also are on the right side of history. This is because they are a cult, just like the left. The humorless left, which doesn't even understand what the word funny means. The same people that try to cancel Dave Chappelle. The left and this analyst are much more akin, much closer to ISIS than those of us who chant, "Let's go Brandon. Let's go Brandon." I want the United States to thrive. I want us to be able to get along and to see each other's viewpoint, which is why I eschew, which is why I strike back at both ISIS and the radical left. They're not that far apart from each other. Believe me, the radical left would put you up against the wall if they could. So if you're there, if you are considering the Church of Woke, if people are waving you in with their massive numbers of tattoos and unhealthy looking faces, miserable, and they're waving you in, please step back. Please look at the sun and see the light and know that we are one America and that we really can get along. So please, people, step out of the cult. Recognize these dishonest actors for exactly what they are and stop listening to them. Don't listen to one word that they say. And of course, let's always remember, let's go Brandon. Let's go Brandon.